I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
Casino was so real that actual mobsters tried to stop it, and what happened during filming makes the movie look tame. The truth behind Scorsese's masterpiece is darker than anything on screen. Fact 1.
He and I would meet in L.A., and, you know, I'd go with him to where he had his shirts made and this, and we talk and we go over the script and
Frank "Lefty" Rosenthal was still alive during production. He consulted with Scorsese directly. The conversations were tense and guarded. Rosenthal refused to admit anything illegal. He called the film fiction publicly. Privately, he corrected details obsessively. Casino layouts had to be perfect. Cheating techniques required absolute accuracy. His pride demanded authenticity. De Niro met with him repeatedly. Rosenthal critiqued the performance harshly. He hated being portrayed as weak. The car bomb scene disturbed him visibly. He never explained how he survived. That knowledge died with him. Scorsese captured mannerisms perfectly. Rosenthal saw himself on screen. The recognition was uncomfortable. His control over details was absolute. Even minor props were subject to approval. Rosenthal's memory for the era was photographic. He corrected color schemes and furniture placement. And one detail Rosenthal insisted they change revealed he was still terrified of someone watching. Fact 2. Ginger was written for someone else entirely. Madonna campaigned aggressively for the part. She met with Scorsese multiple times. The studio wanted a bigger name. Sharon Stone was considered too risky. Her career was declining rapidly. Basic Instinct typecasted her completely. Scorsese resisted initially. Stone auditioned 5 separate times. Each performance was different. She revealed depths others missed. Ginger's addiction and desperation came naturally. Stone understood the character instinctively. Her own struggles informed the role. Scorsese finally relented. The studio was furious. Stone delivered beyond expectations. The performance earned an Oscar nomination. She studied real Vegas showgirls for months. Her research was obsessive and thorough. Stone interviewed women who lived that life. Their stories broke her heart repeatedly. And what she revealed to Scorsese about her own past made him realize she wasn't acting at all. Fact 3.
Where the fuck you get off talking to people about me behind my back going over my head?
Joe Pesci's Nicky Santoro terrified everyone on set. Method acting consumed him completely. He stayed in character between takes. Cast and crew avoided him deliberately. The pen-stabbing scene required no acting. Pesci's intensity was genuinely frightening. De Niro intervened multiple times. He worried about his friend's mental state. Pesci was channeling something dark. The violence felt personal and uncontrolled. Scorsese let the cameras roll longer. He captured authentic menace. Pesci improvised brutal moments. Some were too disturbing to use. The cornfield beating was particularly hard to film. Pesci's commitment bordered on dangerous. His eyes changed when he became Nicky. The transformation was immediate and complete. Other actors reported feeling actual fear. Background players requested reassignment constantly. And one deleted scene showed Pesci breaking character and attacking someone for real. Fact 4.
You can spot these assholes by watching the way they bet. Like this guy. He's betting lavender chips at 500 each with only one little problem. He's always guessed right.
Casino consultants were actual thieves. Former cheaters demonstrated techniques on camera. They showed methods still in use. Casinos panicked when they learned this. Security footage was studied extensively. Real scams were recreated perfectly. The film became a training manual. Casinos demanded footage be altered. Scorsese refused completely. He insisted on authenticity. The techniques shown were outdated anyway. Modern technology made them impossible, or so casinos claimed. Professional gamblers studied the film obsessively. They spotted methods casinos missed. New scams were developed from old ones. The consultants were paid handsomely for silence. Many violated probation to participate. Their expertise was invaluable and dangerous. Scorsese protected their identities fiercely, and one technique shown in the film is still being used today. Casinos just won't admit it. Fact 5. Chicago organized crime families hated the project. They saw it as dangerous exposure. Lawyers sent threatening letters. Production faced constant legal challenges. Witnesses were intimidated systematically. Former associates refused to cooperate. Some disappeared before interviews. The fear was palpable and real. Scorsese received credible threats. Security was increased dramatically. De Niro hired personal protection. The set was closed to outsiders. Filming locations were kept secret. Paranoia infected the production. Everyone looked over their shoulders constantly. The mob's power was fading, but still real. Phone calls came at odd hours. Anonymous warnings arrived regularly. Studio executives considered canceling everything. De Laurentiis refused to back down, and one crew member vanished during production and has never been found. Fact 6.
Come on. There we go. Beautiful.
Sharon Stone wore 52 different outfits. Each costume was designed meticulously. Real jewelry was borrowed from private collections. Insurance costs were astronomical. Some pieces were worth millions. Stone wore actual Cartier and Bulgari. The excess was intentional and necessary. Ginger's wealth had to feel real. Her lifestyle was the point. Costume designer Rita Ryak spent obscene amounts. The studio fought every budget increase. Scorsese insisted on authenticity. Stone's wardrobe tells a story visually. Her decline is shown through clothing. Glamour fades into desperation. The costumes chart her destruction. Fittings took weeks to complete. Stone's measurements changed during filming. Stress affected her body constantly. Each outfit required multiple backups. And one dress Stone wore was stolen after filming. It's still missing and worth over $2 million. Fact 7. Robert De Niro prepared obsessively as always. He studied casino operations for months. He learned every position intimately: dealing, security, management, everything. Then he demanded real practice. A closed casino was rented. De Niro ran it for 2 weeks. Professional dealers were hired. High rollers were invited. Real money changed hands. De Niro worked 16-hour shifts. He handled actual problems. Cheaters were caught and ejected. The experience was invaluable. His performance shows genuine expertise. Sam Rothstein's competence is completely believable. De Niro memorized odds and statistics. He learned to spot card counters instantly. His eye for detail became legendary. Other actors watched him work in awe. And what happened during those 2 weeks led to a real FBI investigation. Fact 8.
Me? That's why the bosses sent me out here. They wanted me to make sure none of the other crews robbed the joint.
Casino was originally filmed without voiceover. Scorsese envisioned purely visual storytelling. Test screenings were confusing disasters. Audiences couldn't follow the plot. Character motivations were unclear. The timeline was incomprehensible. Studio executives panicked completely. Scorsese was forced to reconsider. He wrote narration reluctantly. De Niro and Pesci recorded it quickly. The narration saved the film. It provided essential context, but it changed the tone significantly. The film became more explanatory, less mysterious and atmospheric. Scorsese still prefers the original cut. The narration was recorded in just 2 days. Both actors delivered it perfectly. Their voices carry authority and weariness. The dual narration creates dramatic irony, and that voiceover-free version exists in a vault. One critic who saw it said it's actually better. Fact 9.
It's totally cool. I gotta have a conversation with him.
Scorsese filmed the violence unflinchingly. The brutality was shown without mercy. Test audiences were physically ill. People walked out during the vice scene. The studio demanded cuts immediately. Scorsese made them angrier instead. He extended scenes in editing. He added sound effects. Crunching bones were amplified. Blood was digitally enhanced in places. The MPAA threatened an NC-17 rating. Negotiations were intense and prolonged. Minor cuts were made strategically. The rating became R barely. International versions vary significantly. Some countries banned it outright. Sound designer layered additional brutal details. The audio made violence more visceral. Scorsese believed audiences needed to feel it. Comfort was not the goal. And the original uncut version that Scorsese first submitted has never been seen publicly. Fact 10.
Come with me now! Come with me now!
Ginger's final descent was agonizing to film. Stone was going through personal hell simultaneously. Her marriage was collapsing publicly. Substance abuse was becoming unmanageable. The role required her to access trauma. Method acting became self-destruction. Stone and Ginger blurred completely. Scorsese watched it happen. He didn't stop it. The performance was too good. Her pain was too authentic. Stone's Academy Award nomination felt bittersweet. The role nearly destroyed her. Recovery took years. She's never discussed filming honestly. Her breakdown scenes required minimal direction. She simply lived the character's despair. Crew members wept watching her perform. The emotional toll was visible daily, and one scene had to be stopped because Stone couldn't tell the difference between herself and the character anymore. Fact 11. Music drives Casino's rhythm completely. Scorsese chose every song personally. The selection spanned decades deliberately. Each piece carries meaning. The soundtrack charts cultural change. The 70s fade into the 80s. Excess grows and collapses. The music tells parallel stories. Licensing was incredibly expensive. Some artists refused permission. Scorsese negotiated personally. He convinced them individually. The soundtrack became iconic immediately. Songs are inseparable from scenes. The music cost exceeded expectations dramatically. Scorsese spent months selecting perfect tracks. Each cue was tested against picture. The marriage of sound and image was painstaking. Music editors worked around the clock. And one song Scorsese desperately wanted was denied. Hearing which one explains the entire film differently. Fact 12. The cornfield burial was grueling to film. Pesci and his brother were beaten methodically. The actors playing killers were disturbed. Filming violence this explicit was traumatic. Pesci insisted on realism. Real punches were thrown carefully. The physical toll was severe. Makeup effects were horrifying. The grave digging felt genuinely sinister. Pesci was buried repeatedly. Claustrophobia became overwhelming. He panicked during takes. Scorsese kept cameras rolling. The fear was captured authentically. The scene was shot in freezing conditions. Actors shivered between takes constantly. Medical personnel stood by continuously. The brutality affected everyone involved. And the FBI later confirmed this is exactly how those murders happened. Scorsese somehow got details that were never made public. Fact 13. Background casino action used real cash. Hundreds of thousands changed hands. Professional gamblers were hired as extras. They played actual games. Winners kept their earnings. Losers absorbed losses. This created authentic atmosphere. Desperation and excitement were genuine. Cameras captured real reactions. No acting was required. Insurance companies went insane. The liability was enormous. Security was military grade. Still, money went missing. Accusations flew. Trust evaporated. Dealers were experienced professionals. They worked for scale plus winnings. The games followed actual casino rules. Tension was completely authentic, and one extra won so much that he never came back to set. Fact 14. The director's health collapsed mid-production. Exhaustion and stress were overwhelming. Scorsese was admitted to a hospital. Production shut down for 10 days. The studio considered replacing him. Thelma Schoonmaker supervised in his absence. De Niro visited daily. He begged Scorsese to slow down. The director refused. He returned too early. His obsession was self-destructive. The film consumed him completely. Friends worried about permanent damage. Casino became a dangerous obsession. Doctors warned of serious consequences. Scorsese ignored medical advice completely. His passion overrode self-preservation. The crew feared he wouldn't survive. And what Scorsese later admitted about why he pushed himself so hard reveals this film was more personal than anyone knew. Fact 15.
No matter what the feds or the papers might have said about my car bombing, it was amateur night, you could tell.
Ace's car explosion was filmed practically. Real explosives were used carefully. De Niro was closer than safe. The stunt coordinator was terrified. Insurance wouldn't cover the risk. De Niro insisted anyway. The fireball was massive and genuine. Heat was intense and dangerous. De Niro's face was protected minimally. The take was perfect immediately. No second chance existed. The danger was worth it. The scene feels authentically terrifying, because it actually was. Multiple cameras captured different angles. Only one take was possible. Pyrotechnics experts calculated everything precisely. Margin for error was minimal, and the explosion was bigger than planned. De Niro's reaction in that shot is genuine fear. Fact 16. Gary Rosenthal was the primary inspiration, but other women's stories were woven in. Vegas was full of gingers, showgirls who married mobsters. Addiction destroyed them systematically. Their stories were remarkably similar. Scorsese interviewed several. Each added details. The composite character was brutally realistic. These women recognized themselves. Some were grateful, others were furious. Privacy had been violated. Pileggi researched extensively before writing. He documented the pattern repeatedly. The cycle of glamour and destruction was consistent. Women were consumed by that lifestyle, and one woman who inspired Ginger sued the production. The settlement included a clause that she'd never reveal which parts of the story were actually hers. Fact 17. Casino shows corporations taking over. The mob is eliminated systematically. Businessmen replace gangsters. Profit becomes the only value. This seemed like fiction in 1995. Within a decade, it was reality. Vegas transformed exactly as shown. The timeline was prophetic. Scorsese didn't predict accidentally. He understood the trajectory. Former mob associates confirmed it. The takeover was already happening. Casino documented the transition. The film became historical record. Corporate consolidation accelerated rapidly. Independent casinos disappeared completely. The soul of Vegas died with them. Scorsese captured the exact moment. And one scene that seemed like obvious exaggeration in 1995 is now taught in casino management schools as documentary truth. Fact 18. Casino was Joe Pesci's last major role. He walked away from Hollywood. The intensity had cost too much. He'd given everything repeatedly. Goodfellas and Casino drained him. The rage was becoming real. He couldn't separate anymore. Retirement was self-preservation. Pesci disappeared from public life. He refused most interviews. The silence lasted decades. Friends respected his choice. His decision shocked the industry. Offers poured in for years. Pesci ignored them all. Peace mattered more than fame. And what Pesci later said about what making Casino did to him explains why he could never work with Scorsese again. Fact 19. Nicholas Pileggi's screenplay was too accurate. Casino security studied it obsessively. Vulnerabilities were exposed clearly. The film showed systematic corruption. Real names were barely changed. Living people were identifiable. Lawsuits were threatened constantly. Vegas wanted the film destroyed. They failed completely. But casinos banned the script. Employees couldn't possess it. Discussing it was forbidden. The paranoia was extreme. Security training incorporated the film. Staff learned what to watch for. Pileggi's research was exhaustive and damaging. The truth hurt business. And one major casino chain still fires anyone caught with a copy. Fact 20. Scorsese's first assembly was 240 minutes. The studio demanded brutal cuts. An entire hour was removed. Subplots disappeared completely. Characters lost dimension. The theatrical version is already long. The original was genuinely epic. That footage still exists. Scorsese has screened it privately. Those who've seen it call it definitive. The additional hour provides crucial context. Motivations become clearer. The tragedy deepens considerably, but the studio refuses to release it. Rumors persist about eventual restoration. Rights issues complicate everything. Scorsese continues to fight for it. The longer version haunts him. And what's in that extra hour includes material so sensitive that its release could still trigger legal action from people shown in the film.